Hello people, we're going back to talk about the Omni VR treadmill. Something they announced literally beginning of the month that Vertrex announced that its virtual reality treadmill will arrive in July to early adopters. The company actually revealed that it has received seed funding. It received $3 million to expand production and distribution on Omni. The $500 platform, that's how much it would cost to buy it, has players basically strapped into a harness, wearing special shoes to run, walk, and jump, using their real-life legs in the game. So basically, it's just a modified treadmill, in a sense. That does fit, like, for example, the Oculus RIft works with this treadmill. This seed investment was actually led by Tecton Ventures and Mavron. One of the other investors on board from Omni is Radical Investments, which is a venture capital firm founded by Mark Cuban, of course, who started Broadcom, who owns basketball NBA team and stuff like that. Vetrex took a trip to the enterprisal ABC reality television series Shark Tank, which Cuban stars on, in an episode that aired in December. In it, Cuban pointed out that this Omni is pretty much based around the Oculus Rift. As Oculus Rift goes, you guys go. So that means as good as the Oculus Rift does, that's how good this treadmill will do. Now, the funny thing is, this treadmill is going to early adopters in July, and there's no news on when the Oculus Rift is actually going to come out. Now, the company actually making the treadmill values its ideal at $20 million, which, of course, the Cuban and the rest of the investors didn't actually buy into that. I could see you creating 20 million in sales, 25 million in sales with this, but you're competing just like headsets are going to be competing, you said. You haven't told me that there's a way to get $50 million in sales. Anytime an investor invests in something, they have to invest in what they believe they think it could make, not necessarily believe what the company can make. There's a lot of times the companies make investments or things. Nobody who ever pitches something believes it's going to do bad. No one ever pitches something doesn't believe it's not going to do very well. One of the hardest things to do when you're pitching something that you created is to be realistic with it. And what investors do are try to be realistic with, in other words, not necessarily give you what you want, but give you what they think you need. And of course, later down the road, they're hoping to get return from investing in your product, and hopefully it's a big return in some cases. But given Facebook's recent acquisition, of course, Oculus VR, for $2 billion, and of course cleared by the FTC not that long ago, Cuban now has more hope for this, because obviously Facebook is a big company. They're going to be pushing the Oculus Rift. Whenever they announce it, whatever kind of version of it they release, what you see now in tech demos may not actually be what comes out. I mean, the headset. Maybe they could make some changes to it. Again, I like it when it came out recently that Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook, actually played Project Morpheus a week before he bought Oculus Rift, and it was after seeing that he decided to buy Oculus Rift. So he's seen the competing product. Maybe there's some changes they want to make after seeing it. You never know. But aside from private investors, of course, the other group that funded Vetrex efforts was Cent Ant Ventures, Scout Ventures, and StartCap Ventures. So there's a lot of seed money going into this ideal of virtual reality. The thing is that they think virtual reality is going to be a big thing, and that's going to propel this. Now, there are a lot of pluses to doing a virtual reality treadmill if it works, being that instead of picturing yourself in their house running, you picture yourself being somewhere else, and that's very appealing to people to do. That maybe they kind of get bored of looking at the same room day after day, and this would give them a different option. They don't necessarily have to do it, but still, all in all, that may be something people are interested in. Again, treadmills aren't entirely cheap, so the price of this isn't necessarily, as my phone continually goes off during the video, of course, as they're not exactly cheap, and this is why this for, like, maybe if you buy the more cheaper treadmill, this is probably twice as much as that. For people who are looking into one, it's not unusually out of the ballpark. But again, there's a lot of seed money going into this. A lot of people are hoping it does well. We'll just have to see when it finally comes out. Again, this is tied to virtual reality. So if the virtual reality headsets like Oculus Rift don't do very well, this thing won't do very well, because it can actually fit more into. It doesn't just rely on Oculus Rift. It can fit on other things also. But if virtual reality doesn't work well, this doesn't work well. So it's got some funding, and it's good for them to get the products out the door. Just see now, in July when this finally goes out, then hopefully we'll start seeing reviews of how well this actually works. Because it would be cool. It would be interesting to see someone have an Oculus Rift and this treadmill, and actually their opinion on how well this works. If this works really well, headsets do well, it could be a moneymaker. So, what do you think about the fact they got their funding, or what do you think about the treadmill? Do you think it's going to go over well? Or do you think even with virtual reality, it is just another treadmill in the market? Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later.